PGA Tour. Golf Channel Awards in association with the PGA, a season-long race with a live final round coverage of the California.
Gave that the full treat.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. That, Frank, is position A.
Wouldn't you like to have that in your bag every day?
Love it. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That will be a great look at birdie.
Now this for birdie. Came away with a bogey on the previous round.
Yet another birdie and yet another tie at the top of the leaderboard.
Frank, this could be an exciting and pivotal point in the round, the par 5 16th.
Especially if the player decides to have a go here. If you're going to take it on a direct line, then you've got to carry all of that bunker complex. But then the other thing to realize, what's the worst thing that can happen? Just in the bunker, right? It's worth a go. Either that, hit it down the right side. There's no way you're going to reach this par 5 and 2.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. This shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Third shot, looking for a good one.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Little redemption chance here, had bogey yesterday. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
No damage done, made the par.
Now to the signature par 3. It only plays 168 yards from the tips, but the tee sits up high and the wind can blow, and a lot can happen here.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
A good birdie right there, Frank.
Oh, time to get another cup of coffee. Things are heating up.
One great hole after another here at PGA West. The finishing hole, no exception. Frank, what can we expect here?
Great finishing hole. It's amazing. If you took the 3 bunkers we're first going to see down the right side, this would almost be a nothing hole. But because they're perfectly situated here, they really shrink up that driving area down the left side. And this is just a reward for a great swing, a great strike, a great shot.
Frank, this approach shot seems pretty straightforward. Just don't hit it left.
Yeah, it's a tough second shot. It's that visual. Once again, you've got that green that's angled to the left. But once again, like a few holes out here, you do not have to hit directly at this flag. You are allowed to move that flag mentally 15, even 20 feet to the right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie.
You'll love them, the birdies, and that's another one. Frank, we did see some good golf out there today, but others really struggled.
Yeah, any competitive player wants to win. We don't doubt that, but we know you're not going to win them all. So it's still important for every golfer to continue to gain experience, to actually get something out of each and every tournament they play in.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Tiburon Championship. Well, take a look at this site, Wolf Creek Golf Club. It is for real. Frank, I've never seen anything quite like this as we get set to call it for EA Sports. I'm Rich Lerner behind the mic, and we welcome you to this site that opened up back in 2000. It's a par of 72 with some elevated tees. Frank, what does the player need to look out for here at Wolf Creek?
Well, everything. Try and keep your eyes on the fairways, though. That's the only green thing apart on this magnificent venue. It's hard to imagine you can play golf in this sort of area, but it's so well defined. Obviously, anything green is golf course, and left or right of that, you're going to find yourself in some problems. But really trying to judge all the elevation changes. Ball's going to fly a little bit further in the thin air, but it's amazing on the eye.
Players still fighting the strong winds out there today.
He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there. Are you kidding me? Come on, you can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing.
He'll need to be strong with this. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now we'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Frank landed it on the green.
It was never going to stop.
No chance. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Solid play, heart of the green. And getting ready for the putt. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. Plenty going on here today. Let's see what's happening at the 14th. Finishing up this first round has not gone all that well, but still a little time, Frank, to put a positive spin on the day.
Because tough days are actually hard to score. I know that's stating the obvious, but to minimize the damage. So this is all about trying to minimize the damage, because when you're playing well, it's easy to score well. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
It can't be that good.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Shouldn't be a problem here. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down in those bunkers because they're, well, a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag? Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. 8-foot putt here. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And he's putting for par now. Boy, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Blemish on the scorecard. A bogey. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But, Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should set up nicely for a birdie.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Locked in on the read and the speed. So, 1 over par for the round. Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's got around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
Wow, he moved that a long way right in the fairway. Frankie could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Suddenly a ray of sunshine with that birdie.
There was hope. Now on the top 25.
Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 170 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole from that spot.
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot. Now, just when you thought they might pick up one, now settle for a par.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. That's a par. And that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round.
Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live second-round coverage of the Tiburon Championship.
This is Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, calling all the action for today's event. We are here at Wolf Creek Golf Club. It's located in Mesquite, Nevada. Frank, if I didn't know that it was Mesquite, Nevada, I think we landed on the moon and they built the golf course here. This is just mind-boggling.
100 years ago, you couldn't build a golf course like this here. Obviously, all the equipment needed, but in the end, it's wonderful. It's an absolute playground for anyone that sort of loves to play the game. It is desert golf, obviously because of the terrain, but the green oasis that cuts in between is each hole. It just sort of gives you a totally different experience. You keep having to remind yourself you are smack bang in the middle of the desert.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the players' shots, that's for sure.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Frank, well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. On to the 11th hole, we're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards, very playable, and you never know, today might be the day where you make birdie.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Another one inside of 5 feet. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie.
Frank, the par 5 12th is another case of a hole where you see that Wolf Creek Golf Club can actually be kind of scary, daunting. You look out at the desert mountains, and then you add in some water, which we have here on the left, and you can go for some big numbers here if you're not careful.
Well, this is where the Wolf and the Creek can take a bite out of you. You hit it left off the tee, then you're certainly going to start to rack up a number. There's enough fairway down the right, but once again, if you hit a good drive and this hole is reachable for you, then you've got to worry about the water, which is to the right of this green. 5 wouldn't be the worst score you could make around here, that's for sure. I've seen 6s and 7s.
Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left. And he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. So a tester from 4 feet.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. Lining this one up for par. Nothing wrong with that par putt. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees, but very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, well, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Good putt. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Well, now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Midway through this back 9, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Don't leave it short. Wow. And getting ready for the putt. He takes care of business there.
Solid stroke.
What a day of golf we saw out there today, Frank. It was a lot of fun.
Wolf Creek is just an amazing experience, Rich. To imagine that they could build a golf course like this, and let alone people could play it and have fun. Every shot's a different experience out there. I doubt you'd ever get another golfing experience anywhere in the world that would come close to this.
Nothing like Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. So for my partner, Frank Nobilo, and all of us here at EA Sports, we say so long from Wolf Creek Golf Club.
EA Sports and the PGA present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Tiburon Championship.
Frank, it's just amazing what can be done today. Where you can build golf courses. On the moon? I mean, that's what this looks like here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada.
And obviously it's an experience, too, that has to be played before you can thoroughly enjoy it. Because you just wouldn't think this is possible. If someone said you can come out to the middle of the desert and you're going to play a phenomenal golf course, you'd say it's not possible. But as these holes intertwine around in the canyon area, just wonderful vistas, huge changes in elevations. Really, it's just a fun adventure.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time, that one gets him in the top 10.
Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand iron. Errant tee shot here, Rich, but going to have to muscle this one out of the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players. The ability to get it that close from that kind of lie.
Chance for back-to-back. You'd like that one again.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
In for par. Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus. Oh, that even caught me by surprise, Rich. I thought par was in the bag.
This now for bogey. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
It went from bad to worse, and right now, horrible.
What do they say, Frank? Golf spelled backwards is
Flog.
Flog. Stepping up to the shot here at the 9th, it's a par 4, 390 yards.
It is anything other than straight off the tee because of all these sort of undulations and curvature on the fairway. You'd think well bunkered, but the last bunker on the right side there, longer hitters, they can nearly fly that, just over 300 yards. Either that, shorter hitter, just play to that fat area of the green. That'll be sort of some, 270 yards. That will take all the water out of play into a green that slopes back at you. So very good chance, even with a wedge in hand, to get the ball close. A good way to finish the front nine.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Frank, you know what gets me about this game? Here a person makes a legitimate effort, makes a good stroke, and that ball spins around and is just laughing at the player. And now what's left, you could breathe on that ball. It counts the same as a 300-yard drive. It's not right.
But it's the beauty of the game.
Beginning the back nine here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner for EA Sports with my partner Frank Nobilo. Frank, tell us about the 10th hole.
Got to be careful here, Rich. That desert ridge on that right side, it sort of makes that fairway look smaller than exactly what it is. This fairway is about the same width as all the others, so just convince yourself that. Good drive down here is going to give you a second shot, a little bit uphill, and to a green that sort of slopes away on about a 45-degree angle.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
So this is where club selection becomes much more important. Uphill, make sure you have enough stick, and then swing away. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. 3 rounds in the books, outside the top 10 going to the final 18. Frank, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're going to have to approach the final round in a couple of different phases. Try and be aggressive early on. If you do get a few birdies in the bank, you really still can fancy yourself with a chance to win. It'll all depend on that start tomorrow.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Tiburon Championship.
Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about Wolf Creek?
Well, it's a mesmerizing layout. You can see from above, Rich, in amongst all these sort of canyon areas and boulders and that. I've never really seen a golf course like this. It's like Disneyland for the golfers. It's phenomenal, and each hole has a totally different look. It's hard to imagine you can build a golf course in an area like this.
Now, 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And Well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down in those bunkers, because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round.
Now putt for par.
Getting set now over the putt. Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
Not a gimme, but well within his range.